Here's how we fixed Troy Watson, a 98-mile-an-hour arm in the Tigers organization. I'm Turner Givens. Let's dive into his resurgence in 2025. So Troy Watson signed up during the offseason of 23 to 24 after a year with Toronto where he saw himself kind of fade a little bit between AA and AAA. Saw his walk rate increase to about 14%, and then you saw his K rate decrease down below 20%. So the biggest thing is we needed to find a way to drop that walk rate, increase the K rate just a tad, and see where we could go from there. Looking at it from a data standpoint, he's a dog. We know that he can throw really hard. We got video of him throwing up to 100 in here. He's always had juice in the tank. He averages about 95 every season. But the issue was a large spread of vertical break on his fastball. So we were seeing just fluctuations here and there. Average vert was about 14 inches. But when we backtrack that to the physical standpoint, biggest thing with his delivery was looking at how the lower half was disconnecting from the upper half, and then how that upper half was influencing the arm and timing of the hand at release. When we dive into his mechanics, biggest thing we noticed with the lower half, it was just working across his body. So pelvis was dumping towards the third base side, forcing his torso to then extend back towards the first base side. And then from there, the arm was either too early or too late, which caused him to either be around the ball and cut it, which is going to decrease vertical break, or he was going to unravel off to the side and just miss arm side. Sometimes horizontal break would increase there. So you can see with this graphic, the spread, how we were able to kind of dial it back into the middle by focusing on the physical part of his delivery. And I think that was a big piece for him. So not only did we see this spread of his movement profile come to a smaller point, we also saw the average vert go up to about 16 inches and even further into the 2025 season. With that being said, K rate did go up, walk rate went down just a tad, but overall results were not exactly where we wanted it to be. And I think when we dive back into the 2023-2024 offseason, we realized that we focused too much on the physical part. And I think that's an issue that a lot of guys have, is that they think if it's physical, it's something I can fix. If it's mental, I'm just soft. So I think a lot of guys neglect the mental game, and that's a big thing that we talked about with Troy going into the 2025 season. So 2024 offseason, it was all about how we could challenge him on the mental side. We know he's a demon, that he can throw really hard. The stuff is there. We have to find a way to dial in his mental process. And it started by identifying what the actual issue was with his process when he's on the mound, when he's training. I'm lucky that he didn't fight back on this, but I wanted to understand what was going through his head. And he was completely open with the fact that he is so results oriented that he forgot how to actually pitch. He did not go through his process, pitch to pitch, taking the emotions out of it. It was all about, can I strike this guy out? Every single guy, I got to strike him out, as he knew that he had to strike people out to try to move up the chain in the system. He felt a lot of pressure behind results, instead of focusing on what his process was from pitch to pitch. And when you look at the best players in the world, they have this extraordinary ability to treat each pitch as its own event. They view the outcome as just a part of the feedback loop, and then they make their adjustments from there. It's not an emotional response. It's always just feedback, and they leave it at that. And that's something that we really tried to hone in on with Troy during the offseason, was how can we get him to understand that everything that he does in training, everything that he does in game is just feedback for him to respond to. So what we did was a lot of change the environment type of training. We got video of him pulling down, upper 90s. He can flat ground 97. So it wasn't necessarily about, hey, can we just go balls to the wall and try to throw as hard as we can in our on-ramp? It was, can we still increase the intensity while giving him a task of throwing strikes? And what we did was, during his on-ramp process where he's doing pull downs, instead of just ripping into the net, he always had a target to throw to, and then I would put him in different constraints and drills for him to adjust based on that. So whether it was ground balls, backhands, turn and burns, drop steps, we changed the drills and gave him a task to accomplish, which was just keeping it in the square of his partner.
These turnarounds,
yeah.
First off goes,
We just got to keep you moving. When's the last time you felt athletic? High school?
Oh, yeah.
We just got to get that back, get you moving. You don't need to be a pitcher up here. You just got to flow. Just got to flow, because the velo is going to be there. And then also on top of that, gave him a velo goal so that he was still increasing his intensity, and we knew that he was going to be ready for the mound from there. That's when we can start to manipulate the environment in which he's throwing on when it comes to bullpens. So at no point during the offseason did he throw on the same mound in back-to-back pins. So it was either he's going to throw on mocap, and then we're going to move him over to the live lane, or he's going to throw in the overflow lane, then he'll move to the mocap lane. So we continue to rotate back and forth. So that was a big piece for him, is getting comfortable with the environment changing on a consistent basis. So by the end of the offseason, obviously we wanted to make it as competitive as possible. So a couple things that we did. Number one, we would move where the catcher was on the plate or in the zone. So he had to just keep his focal point to a general location on the catcher, whether that was moving the catcher forward so that it's a lot closer, so he's just backspinning the ball through his mask, or moving the catcher back. He did not think of a specific location. It was just a general spot on the catcher, splitting him in half. No matter the distance, no matter the location left or right, it kept it the same for him, kept it consistent. And then from there, where we really got competitive was with tic-tac-toe. So we made it a game-like situation where he had a velocity threshold that he had to hit, and then he was competing against one of our coaches, Craig Stem, into a 9 pocket, and they went after it tic-tac-toe. And I felt like it was a great environment for him to kind of take the pressure off of the situation and just focus on where does the velo need to be? How can I compete in zone? There's no catcher involved. So again, that's part of changing the environment for him and mixing it up so he is comfortable with being uncomfortable. I know a lot of people hear that, but I really do think it was a big piece to his mental process of not feeling so emotional after every result and focusing on the process versus the outcomes. So by the end of the offseason, when you look at his pitch location charts from 2023-2024 in-house versus 24-25 offseason, you can see a much tighter spread in zone. In theory, that should transition over to the season fairly well, and it did. I think that he did a phenomenal job this year, obviously improved the walk rate a ton. He went from averaging 13.2% in 2024 to 8.7% in 2025. So a huge drop off there. K rate went from 21.8% to 22.9%. So not a huge jump, but by stabilizing the K rate and dropping the walk rate, he put himself in a phenomenal spot to not only dominate in AA, get called up to AAA and have a phenomenal back half of the season there. Average velo stayed about the same, around 95, as expected. He transitioned from more of a bullpen guy, long relief guy, into a starter, and I think he did a great job of retaining that velocity and the stuff. He went from averaging about 14 vert in 2023 to averaging about 16 in 2024, and then 2025 he was up to 16.6. So that has slowly climbed. That spread of movement profile has gotten a lot smaller. So obviously the delivery is in a great spot. The mental game is in a great spot. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do in 2026. I think the next piece for him, the next step, is going to be trying to increase that K rate just a little bit more. But I do feel like he has made huge strides in the mental game. And not to mention, he is expecting his first kid in November, which I do think takes a little bit more pressure off the game. The game doesn't matter as much when you are involved with something bigger than yourself. So Troy's always been a guy that has had the physical ability to do damage. And when we're looking at training as a whole, and what we do here at Tread is we have to attack the physical and mental side. And I think a lot of guys neglect the fact that the mental game is a big piece of their process. Just because you throw 98 doesn't mean you don't have anything to work on. I think that's where guys can start to shift their mindset, and that is exactly what we do here. So if you are missing that small piece in your process, in your training, we're here to help. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Just got to get them to do that every time with a little bit more juice.
Just do that, dude.
In game, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Command guy. Good stuff.